you? I mean, what was your...
Well, when I first started to go with Audrey, I met her at this time, see, and I wanted to know if she smokes. Many girls smoked, and I couldn't stand smoking girls. So I used to go in and visit with all of them. And I kept a diary all the time, but somehow my diary got lost, so I don't have it. So the only diary I have is one that Audrey kept. And so I kept going in, and I'd bring the girls some candy bars and whatnot, because they had everything they bought. They had to have a, what you call it?
The ration coupons,
ration,
yeah.
And all I had to do was just pay for the stuff. So, and then on the 1st of October, I took the candy bars in, and Audrey was off of candy that day. You never heard about, but you know, sometimes women, they have some hormones that changes their. You heard that?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So I had a big orange in my sack, and so I said, "Would you want this? Would you like an orange?" She about to come over the counter.
Yeah, they weren't seeing many of those, were they?
She hadn't had an orange for. And then the next week I went in and got there a little late, and they were closed up, and they were going to her and the other girl that was living in the same part of town. They were going to show, and they invited me to go. So I just went along with them, and everybody paid their own bill, own ticket and everything. And then I decided I'd go and ask her for a date. So the next week I went in, and just as I got there, she was leaving with with an English officer.
Oh.
Now he was a navigator on the British ship. So about a week later, I thought, well, maybe that's it. But then I wanted a particular music that I liked, and so I went in, and if you bought a record, they had a booth that you'd walk in, and they'd put the record on. You could listen to it and see if you liked it before you paid for it. So this was October the 21st, and she put the record on, and for me, and it was just leaving, and I said, where's your officer? And he said, well, he had to go back to camp, or to his unit, and that was a long ways away. And I said, would you go out with me? And she didn't answer me. She just walked out, because she's leaving anyhow for me to listen to the record. And I listened to the record, and then when she come back in, she said she'd go out with me. I think she had to go out and tell the other girls.
Get their opinion on the whole thing.
And that was it.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you know something about the painting, so.
Yeah, he's very interested.
And I didn't want to get very serious, because in those days, if 3 crews started, only one out of the 3 would finish.
I know,
We were finishing just under 30%. and I didn't want that. And then if I finished, they'd send me back to the States.
Mm-hmm.
So I was lucky in 7 ways. On the one trip that was really the rough one, we lost 60 planes out of 200.
That's the one Jimmy was remembering.
Well, and we were
So
bombing.
you went out that day.
What?
You went out that day because Jim knows about that day. I
All
guess
right,
it was
then you listen to this. Then if he's on that, and of course now I'm a radio operator. I'm in the radio room, and our tail gunner, for some reason or another, seemed to always lose he had two 250s that he used back on the tail, and about every time we get on a mission, why he'd lose a gun, and I always used to kid him and pull up and say, "What's the matter, Dave? Don't you know how to put your guns in?" And we got on this one, and they were throwing everything at us, and they would come in high down like that, and then they throwing everything at us that time because we were after the ball bearing factories in Swineford, and we just got started in the fight good, and darn if both of these guns went out. And the pilot called him and said, "Dave, forget your guns, don't try and fix them or anything." Says, "You've been flying long enough that you know just about when they're going to fire." He said, "You let me know." Maybe going along and you'd hear "now," and as soon as you hear "now," you'd hear that plane go up just like that.
Incredible.
And I think that's what saved us. We never lost a crew. We were the lead radio operator. And the squadron right beside of us was 8 of them. After several times down, there's only one left. They shot the 7 down. And the one come back and joined with us. When we got back, I went all over and went all through. Then we didn't have only 1 or 2 bullets in the whole thing. So I think that him losing the guns saved me.
It's hard to even imagine those aircraft making any kind of evasive maneuvers. I mean, they were like big.
Well, as soon as they come down like that, and if you'd have gone down, they'd have been all right.
Right.
But when you went up, they didn't have time to correct.
Right. Yeah. Quite an experience.
Well, so let's finish this story out a little bit. I finished operations. I didn't get shot down. I was.
You were one of the three. One of the three.
All finished operations.
We're so grateful. We're all so grateful you made it.
And so I went over and turned all my stuff in, and some of the boys had finished more first, and they'd gone back to the States. And I figured that's what I would do, and I turned the stuff in, and somebody said, "You wanted the communications." So I walked over to communications, and the officer said, "Well, Sergeant, you've finished your operations, and if you request it, we'll send you back to the States. But we'd like you to stay and train all the replacement crews in communication. And if you'll stay, that'll be about the only thing you'll have to do. We'll keep you on flight pay. You'll have to fly 4 hours a month. And that was it. I said, you can't beat that.
No.
I don't want to go back and take some dirty little job back to the States.
Right.
I'll stay.
Go back to the farm.
So then I said, you're in England till the war's over.
Right. Time to make your move.
So that's the tale. And that was in the 1st of February of 1944. And then Audrey and I guess got, our folks, they got a little bit concerned. I think they got
We were hoping you were going to be hitting the road pretty soon, huh?
the first thing they did. I think they liked me all right. They liked me, but I was over 10 years older than Audrey, and I was also a Mormon. And I not only lived across the ocean, I lived across the United States.
You did.
So they weren't very pleased
No.
with her getting too friendly with me.
I would have been pretty upset.
Well, I don't blame them. I'd have been the same way. But anyhow, around the 1st of February, then her mother told me not to come back and see her anymore.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What did Grandma think of that? She must have been pretty mad, huh?
Well, that didn't make any difference. She worked, so the only thing it made is I didn't go to her home. We just kept going together the same as always. And they did that for about a couple of months, and finally they decided, I guess, they might as well have an eye on us. So they said, okay. So, and then in August, they consented for an engagement. So we were engaged to be married, and we went to Ram Jam, a resort place, and that's when I gave her a ring.
So now you had to do something to make an engagement official, or what was the...
What?
You had to do something to make it official? I mean, he just...
Well, I think they gave her a written deal or something, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Is it because of her age, or just... Do you just...
Well, that's too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
We went there, and when I started, when things got looked like we were going to be engaged, the top turret gunner said, my sister works for a retail diamond place in New York, and if you want a ring, well, she'll get it to you for wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
So she sent the pictures of what 1 carat, a quarter carat, half a carat, 3/4 carat, a carat, and what it would cost you. And then next she wanted to know is the size of the ring and what was
Size.
what the ring was made of.
Mm-hmm. What metal?
So I went through and figured, well, I could afford a 3/4.
It's a nice size.
That was a nice looking ring. and I gave it to her. They said,